Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening again, man. I want to welcome you guys back to the Conversation 9-8 and apologize for the delay. Had a little technical difficulties getting on, but hey, we on right now. We're going to get right into it, man. I'm looking forward to the conversation tonight. Looking forward to having the dialogue, man. I appreciate you guys more than what you know. It's definitely, truly is a blessing. And I look forward to the conversation tonight to get on with it. I think tonight conversation is going to be good. I think it's going to be one that's going to be challenging and one that's necessary, man. First of all, I want to send thoughts, my prayers out to everybody dealing with the hurricane. I know we got some bad weather down here in South Georgia. Some people are still without power. You know, some flooding up in North Carolina. So a lot of things going on, and I just wanted to just extend my heartfelt, my prayers and heartfelt thanks to all of those who are helping people, and my prayers goes out to those who may are still in need. And thanks for all of the people that have been helping people too. So a lot of people have been helping out. A lot of people doing doing some real good things, and I just want to uh, just say, thank everybody for that, because it does mean a lot. We don't know. This hurricane came. People was told, but when you look at it, it hit a lot of areas that wasn't being expected to be hit. So I just want to say my thoughts and prayers are out to all of those that are dealing with it. But again, man, I want to thank you guys, and I hope you guys tune in with your boy tonight. And looking forward to having the conversation with you all. But we're gonna get right into it in a little bit. Sharing this with a few people, like I always do each week. And we're gonna get right on to it, man. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know uh, if and it's an interactive conversation. So if you feel like you want to contribute, or if you feel like you um, you know just want to participate, man, let me know. Feel free to chime in. Feel free. I am not stopping you from chiming in. I look forward to it, and am grateful for those that do. It's definitely welcome, and you guys definitely mean a lot. Want to send a shout out to my mom, man. Mom, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. You mean a lot to me, and I'm very appreciative of you and the things that you do and have done for me. So I just wanted to just let you know that and say it publicly. Celebrate people that support you, man. Celebrate those people. Really do. Good afternoon to you. And man, we're gonna get right on into it, man, because tonight conversation is, you know, really thinking about tonight conversation is talking about saying many times you're the problem, but you're too prideful and selfish to change your behaviors. Because that's the God honest truth. Because many times we are the problem. In any situation that you look at, you can slice it however you want to slice it. But many times you are the problem. We are the problem in the situation. We are the problems in our job. We are the problems in our relationship. We are the problems with our siblings. We are the problem. And the truth is, we know we're the problem, but we're too prideful and too selfish to really deal with the reality of us and what we're bringing to the table, because we don't want to change our behaviors. We want everybody else to adjust to us, and it's so easy for us to find fault in other people, to try to point the blame to other people, all because we refuse to deal with ourselves and address ourselves. But at the end of the day, many times we are the problem. And in order to solve the problem, we got to be willing to deal with the man in the mirror. We have to be willing to deal with that person in the mirror. We have to be willing to deal with that person looking back at us with no excuses, like for real, no excuses. I mean, and um, the sad truth is, a lot of us, we know one without a doubt, we know we're the problem. We know we are the problem. But what we have done is we have created this reality, or we have created this false reality as if that we aren't, and we love to find blame. And the funny thing is, when we know we are the problem, we look for fault in other people in an attempt to try to justify our own behaviors. Even though we know our behaviors are wrong, but we look to try to find fault in other people. And that really shows a lack of emotional maturity. That shows a lack of maturity in of itself. And that shows how selfish you are. I mean, and we can use the word narcissist and we can use all of these different traits, but what it boils down to, prideful. You too prideful to say, hey, look, I know I'm the problem and I got to deal with me and I'm gonna address me because I realize I'm the one bringing the issues to this, not somebody else. And I'm going to deal with me because I realize I can only control myself. How you doing, Miss Shepherd? Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. And that, I mean, and that's really getting to a space. And one of the things I think a lot of people don't like to talk about, but it is God honest truth. You will find a lot of peace in life. You will find life to be so much more livable and enjoyable when you get to a space to you start to deal with yourself when you know you're the problem. Self-check. You are self-aware enough to say, hey, look, man, I'm the problem in this situation, so I'm going to deal with me. I'm not going to look, and this is the thing, a sign of maturity is not looking to justify your wrongdoing based off of what somebody else did. And many of us, we try to do that. We know we're wrong, but then we try to justify our wrong based off of what somebody else is doing. Their wrong doesn't justify our wrong. So no matter how you try to slice it, you're still wrong in the end. And many of us, we dissolve relationships. We create hostile environments because we don't want to deal with the reality of who we are. When we know we're wrong, nobody has to tell you. Nobody has to lay it out. You know, you knew you was wrong from the beginning, but you're too prideful to say, hey, I'm wrong. You know that. And many of us, we do that. Like, think about it. How many times have we dealt with people? How many times that you know yourself you was wrong, but you were just too prideful to say, hey, it was me. Now, think about that. Just seriously think about it. And the sad thing is we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people who, you know, we have a lot of people who were down their sword, who will go to their grave because of pride and because of selfishness, because they don't want to admit something that everybody know, everybody around them know, they know, but they don't want to just say, hey, they the problem. They don't want to say they the one with the attitude. They don't want to say they the one that don't want to do something. And it's so funny. Think about it. It's so funny how easy it is to find fault in others when it's something we don't want to do, or especially it's something that aligns with us, but we trying to justify behavior. There's nothing that would justify your wrongdoing. Nothing. No matter how much you try to slice it, no matter how much you try to lay it out, no matter how much logic you try to use, you're still logically wrong. And you can be illogical in your approach, but you're still logically wrong. And if we sit down and be honest, a lot of things we will have a lot more peace in our lives if we can deal with ourselves, honestly. My mom said, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I was and this is a thing. I was watching a testimony of this pastor was talking about a time where him and his father had went to visit this lady in the hospital, and he was talking about he could feel the healing power of God on him. But when they went in to pray with the lady, he said that he saw a cloud over her, and the Lord spoke to him and told him that she was harboring unforgiveness. And the lady he was like, hey, ma'am, are you harboring unforgiveness? She was like, no. And then he said the Holy Spirit spoke to him, says her ex-husband. And then when they spoke to her about her ex-husband, she changed, the whole countenance changed. Long story short, she told them she would rather die than to forgive him because he didn't deserve it. Even though she had a teenage son, she was willing to die. And at the end, her son said, my mama hated him more than she loved me. And many of us, we were willing to die before deal with our own pride. That's sad, man. That right there is sad. I saw that really broke my heart. And the reason why it broke my heart is because many of us, we live like that. We approach life like that. We approach our day-to-day lives like that. And we are the ones that are the root of the behaviors. We are. You know, a lot of times what we do is we try to get it and we want people to feel sorry for us. But if we really be honest, we got to realize that we are the one that perpetuating a lot of dysfunction because of our prideful and our selfishness and our unwilling to change our behavior in our lives and in the lives of those around us. A lot of parents perpetuate dysfunction because we be dead wrong. We know we dead wrong, but we want to try to operate in our authority our position of authority, but we be dead wrong. And we drive wedges and we drive dysfunction in between us and our children and in our homes just because we are too prideful and too selfish to change our behavior. Because we don't want to give up our authority as a parent. You ain't giving up your authority as a parent if you realize you're wrong and you go back and you do right by it, or you make that right. That's being a mature adult and being a mature person. And you don't even realize how much more you give to your kids if you are a parent and you've done wrong and you have the courage to go back and say, I was wrong, and you change your behavior. You would give your kids way more than what you are doing just by you, quote unquote, standing on business. Man, look, I'll tell you like this. It's a sad reality, but we know it, right? But there are so many relationships. There are so many families. There are so many marriages. There are so many workplaces that are hostile, that are dysfunctional, because people choose to, quote unquote, stand on business. You're going to stand on business on the principle when you dead wrong. You know you're wrong. So why try to stand on something when you're wrong and just say, hey, look, I was wrong. Listen, I know I know it can be seen to be a hard thing, but the reality is it's even harder to deal with. It's even harder to deal with the stuff that we hold on to, being in our feelings and holding those grudges, than to just go back and deal with it and address it so we can deal with it and overcome it. But we'll just stand on business and in our dead wrong and cause health problems and cause all this other stuff, all because we're too prideful and too selfish to change our behavior when we know we wrong. Like, seriously, we know we wrong. It's not even a question about it. We be knowing we wrong. Like, we know we are wrong. And that's what I mean. Like, and I'm talking about sit down and think about it. I'm talking about we know we wrong. Nobody have to tell us. And this is truth, just like a kid. But the reality is, many of us, we know we be dead wrong when we do something. We know we're the problem in the situation. We know it, but we try to create we try to create our lives around, like, we can try to feel justified in it. And what we try to do is we try to seek others to validate our wrongdoing. We seek others that think like us, who are as ignorant as us, to think like us just so they can say, yeah, I see. No, you wrong. And anybody that tell you you're wrong, you get offended and you feel like that they're attacking you. That's when you know you're operating in pride and you're operating in selfishness. When somebody come to you and point you out to you, and then your first reaction is to be defensive and be offended because they're showing you, but you already know that's how you operate, but you didn't want nobody to call you out because you want to try to find a way to be justified for it so that you can feel good about yourself, but you know you're wrong in the first place. You know you're wrong. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the sad thing is, the sad truth in all of this is we have people who know that they are wrong, but then they try to manipulate others around them in their ways and try to always make other people feel like they are the cause of why they did something. Like, no, you did that because you wanted to do that. You was neglectful because you wanted to be neglectful. You wasn't thoughtful because you didn't want to be considerate. That was your choice. That has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with what somebody else did. Stop blaming other people for stuff you know you did. For stuff stop trying to blame other people to justify your wrongdoing. And so many people do that, and they live off that, and they think that everything is okay, and they feel like the people closest to them are the ones that suffer the most. They suffer the most because they got to deal with you. But you walk around like everything is good because you feel like nothing is ever wrong, because you are the problem. You are the common denominator. In all of it, it's you. For real, man. It's so many people have to live with that. And then this is the thing. And this is the stuff that people don't talk about, but it is true. When people have to deal with somebody who never is wrong or don't always want to try to justify their wrongdoing, those people exhibit narcissistic behaviors. But this is the other side of it. The people who have to deal with them, it is so hard for them because they get to a point where they become numb. because they know that trying to reason with that person or try to talk with that person or try to show that person will always try to flip it, will never take ownership of their behavior and try to play the role of a victim. They will always try to play the role of a victim and want somebody else to feel sorry for them when they know that they are the ones wrong. They know they are wrong. But the thing is, they are too prideful and too selfish to take ownership of it. And they will spend all their time, energy, and effort trying to convince you and convince everybody else that you are the one wrong. And the funny thing is, they are more worried about what somebody else think outside of the relationships than the person that they offended in the relationship. They are. And I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen people do it. And dealing with those people can really erode away at you, at the core of you and what you got going on, because it can be so frustrating. It can be so frustrating dealing with those folks. I'm dead serious. Yep. They think that they are the one that was done wrong. Yes, ma'am. They are. They will always view it from that standpoint. And that's a real good point. You know, one thing about it, and I want you guys to really see it, but I really appreciate that point. But when you're dealing with somebody who refused to acknowledge the fact that they are the problem, when they know that they're the problem, they will always view whatever the situation is as if they are the victim or they're the one that done wrong. They will omit whatever they did, all of the neglect, all of them not being considerate, all of that, just their betrayal, everything that they did. They won't even look at that. And they will try to find something to try to point fault at you and try to justify their behavior, when they know for a fact that nothing that they can do can justify it. But they just looking for something just so that they can they just looking for something that they can hold on to, because they lack the emotional maturity enough to sit there and be like, hey, I'm wrong. I'm going to address me and I'm going to be an adult about it so that I can overcome it and be better and grow from this. But they will never do it. Why? Because they are too prideful and too selfish. They are too prideful and too selfish. And it's sad. But the best, I will tell you, when you connect with people like that, and this is something that I want to, I really want people to understand. When you're connected to people who would never admit that they're wrong, and they know they're wrong, you know they're wrong, everybody else can look at the situation to see they're wrong, stop giving those people chance after chance. Stop doing it. It doesn't matter who they are. And I know that can be hard. I know that can be frustrating, but stop doing it. Stop giving them second and third and fourth chances, because those people will never turn around and give that grace to you. And the only thing you're doing is every time you give them another chance, you're setting yourself up for being frustrated. You're setting yourself up to be let down, because they will never willingly say, hey, look, I am the problem. I'm going to do the things I need to do so that I can address me. They will not do it. So you sitting around hoping for the best. You can connect, you can disconnect from them, wish them well, and hope that they do better later on. But it's not your responsibility to continue to keep giving them second and third chances. Free yourself. Free yourself. Because I promise you, if you won't free yourself, they're going to do what they got to do for themselves. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do. And man, I this is something that I hope that it's been helpful, because it's something I just thought about and was wanting to talk about for this week, because people deal with that. People deal with that, man. We know we the problem, man. Listen, don't let nobody fool you, but nobody has to tell anybody when they are the problem. Nobody have to do it. Nobody has to tell anybody when they are getting over on somebody. Nobody has to tell them that. People know that, but what they do is they don't care. Like, they've gotten so comfortable, and a lot of people feel like they're entitled. And the best way of dealing with entitled people is to cut off the access of what they had from getting from you. If somebody feel like they're entitled to you providing for them, cut off their provision. If they can't appreciate it, cut it off. And I ain't saying that to be funny. I ain't saying that to be spiteful. Man, stop giving people free pass to you, access to you, when they can't even respect you enough to change their behavior, especially if their behavior is problematic, especially when they know their behavior is problematic. I'm telling you that right now. So the best thing to do is to eliminate that access that they have to you and free yourself from it, because it will be better for you in the long run. Better for you in the long run. Miss Josephine Morse, amen. I'm dealing with this problem right now. Amen. I would just say this, one thing about it is, and I want people to really understand that, is stop feeling sorry for yourself when you cut people off that you know are a problem and they too prideful to change their behavior. Stop beating yourself up for that. Because I'm telling you, I've been there. I've been there where you always look out for people. You want to give them a second chance. You look for the best in people. But these people consistently show you that they are unwilling to change their behavior. Man, you better stop feeling bad about cutting them folks off, because those people are takers. And watch this. Takers have no limits. They will continue to take, because they will take your yes for granted, and they'll take you for granted for what you offer, but would not, talking about would not even lift a finger to try to change their behavior, even though they know that they are the ones benefiting from it. They know that they're taking advantage. They're having advantage of what they get from you. You the one that got to cut it off. You better learn to cut them off and sleep good at night. I'm telling you, that is freedom. That is a freedom that you owe yourself. That is a freedom that you owe yourself. So, man, I tell you, man, I'm just so happy and so thankful for what God is doing. Man, continue to be yourself and connect with people. And this is what God was speaking to me earlier. Connect with people who support your purpose. And I say that again, connect with people who support your purpose, because everybody does not support your purpose. Everybody does not support who you are and the things about you. We all got our quirks. We all got our good. We all got our bad. We all got some things about us that aren't pleasant. We all are human. We all have our flaws. But get with people that support your purpose. The things about you and your purpose, if you're connected with people who can't genuinely get behind you and support your purpose, cut them people off. Love them from a distance, but cut them people off. I'm telling you, if they can't encourage it, if they can't be there to be supportive, to provide feedback or provide resources and be there to uplift you, man, do yourself a favor and don't waste time, energy, and effort trying to stay connected to people who will forever refuse to support you walking in your purpose. Don't do it. That's a self-sentence that will erode at the core of who you are and has the potential of leaving you bitter, and has the potential of not only leaving you bitter, but taking a lot of the life out of you, because you're wasting it with staying connected with people who are not aligned to your purpose. And understand the difference when I talk about people being aligned to your purpose and people being attracted to your purpose. Understand that difference. And I think I got to hit on that one, man. Look, we got to realize, and a lot of people don't want to do it, but there is a difference between people aligning with your purpose and people being attracted to your purpose and people benefiting from your purpose. And understand that, right? Because some people are attracted to your purpose. They may be attracted to the things that God has gifted you to do. And they are attracted to it because them being associated and being around it, they are benefiting from you operating in your purpose. But just because they benefit from you operating in your purpose, that does not mean that they are supportive of or connected to your purpose. So you got to understand and be able to pray to God to say, God, give me the eyes to see the people who are connected to my purpose, who are there to support me walking in my purpose, and not just there to benefit from me operating in my purpose. Because everybody that's supportive will be with you through thick and thin. The people that are there just to benefit from it, they're only there to receive the fruits of you operating, not to help you cultivate it, not to help you grow it, not to help you build it up. And understand that difference, because it can be hard, because they can look the same, they will wear the same things, but at the end of the day, The people that support you in your purpose will be in the trenches with you in your purpose. They will see you in the gutter. They'll be in the gutter with you walking in your purpose. They will be in the gutter in you preparing to cultivate that purpose. The people that are there just to benefit from you and your purpose, they will only be there when the times are good. And they will leave you hanging when you need them the most. So, man, understand this. Understand that many times people know they're wrong. And they too prideful to just change their behavior. Prideful and selfish. If you come across those people, I'm not telling you not to love them, but don't sit there and entertain it, man. Hold people accountable. A lot of times, the best accountability, man, this is good, man. I've been trying to get off this thing, but God still say, hey, look, I got a little bit more. But this is true. The best accountability you can give a selfish and prideful person is to disconnect from them. You don't have to entertain them, especially if you're connected with them and they know that they're a problem, they're causing issues with you, and you bring it up to them. They know what their behavior is. They know how they do. The best thing you can do is just disconnect from them. I don't have to be connected to you. Stop giving them access to you. Limit the access that they have to you so that they won't drain you. Because the only way they can drain you is you allow them to connect to you. You determine, you give access who can not only connect to you, but stay connected to you. You control it. So stop getting mad, cut them off, limit their access they have to you, and go and surround yourself by people who are mature enough and are emotionally mature enough to take ownership for their behavior and make changes towards it. Because it's not hard. They just don't want to do it. It's not hard. They just don't want to do it. Man, I thank you guys so much for rocking with your boy. It really makes a difference. And I appreciate it, man. Make sure you guys go check me out on all social media platforms up here. I've got the Conversation 98 on YouTube, the Conversation 98 on Instagram, at 98 Conversation on Twitter, the Conversation 98 on Facebook, and at the Conversation _98 on TikTok. Make sure you guys go like, share, and subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. We're going to continue to keep this thing going. We're on episode 195, going strong, 4 years strong in this thing. We're going to keep going until God say so. So, man, support the people that you got in your life. Love on those people, man. Be appreciative of the people in your life. And you guys have a great and wonderful week. God bless.